Good morning. Welcome back into the AM show. Now, our guest today is a singer whose voice doesn't just entertain, it moves you. Jackie DiMaggio has been lighting up stages across the country, from Carnegie Hall to the Columbus Day Parade, earning her the title of America's Sweetheart for her warmth, her vocal power, and her emotional storytelling. So whether she's performing timeless tributes, original ballads, or faith-driven anthems, Jackie brings a rare kind of magic to every note. Let's actually check her out in action, performing an incredible song by Connie Francis, Al Dila. Just to mention your word, I'd move heaven to be near you. You're my life, you're my love, you're my Please welcome to the show, Jackie DiMaggio.
Thank you so much.
Hello, good morning, Jackie. How you doing? Good morning. How are you doing, Jackie?
I'm good. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh my gosh, we're so happy to have you. And wow, what a performance that was. Now, you have become known for your incredible renditions of Connie Francis classics like what we just saw. And I just wanted to know, what inspired you to start performing her songs? And what do you think it is about her music that still touches people all these years later?
Well, you know, I started singing her at a very young age, growing up in a big Italian-American household. My grandfather, kind of took me under his wing and taught me all the Italian that I know today. And he always used to play Connie Francis because that was one of his favorites. And she just resonated with me at such a young age. Her voice and just the way that she sings, and just thinking of my grandfather, he passed a couple of years ago, and I know I'm making him proud, but she was always a very staple in our household, being played all over. He had this big speaker in our house, and it would just play all throughout the house. Oh. And Connie has always been special to him, and now she's very special to me. So I like to kind of bring people back. Doing the Italian is definitely important to me because I am Italian, so I'm very proud of my heritage and where I come from. But also just the fact that it brings people back, when music was actually really good. I mean, there's just there's nothing like the older music. That was when music was really music. And I feel connected to it because I learned it at such a young age. And it's special to me. So I love the audience when the audience tells me, like, you brought me back to like my grandparents' living room, or the kitchen when my mother was cooking. And it's very special because it touches a lot of people.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Well, Jackie, your voice, you have so much power in your voice. You can hear the passion, coming and just leaking out. And we want to know, you have the tagline, you are called America's Sweetheart. Where did that start? Can you give us some background on the origins of that?
Sure. Well, I kind of made that my own because of the feedback I get from all of my fans. They're always like, you put so much heart into your songs. We feel your music. We feel every note, every lyric. And I'm a very warm person. I love to connect with my audience after the show. I know a lot of singers do, but I really enjoy hearing what I brought to them. And I truly love that, from the people. And I'm very warm with them. I'm very humble. And I just want to touch people with my heart. I really just want to touch people with my voice and, with my heart. I try to bring like a little sweetness, hope, faith, love, and of course, nostalgia wherever I go to sing. And so I kind of just made that title for myself because so many people were like, you need a title. You need a title to call yourself other than just Jackie DiMaggio, And so I was like, well, I guess I could be called America's Sweetheart because you know what? I'm very patriotic also. I love my country. I love people. And they all tell me that I'm sweet. I mean, I don't want to say that about myself. I am sweet, but I get a lot of that feedback from the crowd. So I was like, you know what? America's Sweetheart is pretty catchy.
I love it.
it.
I think it's iconic. I think it's great. It definitely goes with your entire brand, especially with the type of music you sing, how you sing, and you definitely sing it very, very kind, right? You're very sweet with your words and how you're singing as well. It really does kind of bring you back to a different era and a different time, which is, I'm with you, girl. I love that music from back in the day with Connie Francis. My mom used to play Connie all the time in our home growing up. So hearing you just do such a great tribute to her as well, and just to bring that era back to life, it's really something to see. Now, it's great hearing about your grandfather kind of having that influence over you and playing that beautiful music. And you even started singing. When did you start singing, I guess, is my first question, because I know at the age of 8, you actually performed for over 3,000 people. So did you start singing prior to 8, and can you tell us about that experience?
Sure. So I started in church.
Okay.
My mom and dad noticed before I could really even talk at the age of 3 that I was humming in perfect pitch. And I, of course, don't remember that, but they do. And they were like, she's got something. And my dad is actually, I get my voice from my dad, but he was always, he wasn't bold enough to ever get really on stage to perform it, to perform anything. But I started at the age of 3 in church and taking the stage, with that type of audience, everybody accepted you. And I just loved it. I mean, I was bold. I got right up there. I did what I had to do for Christmas, for Easter, for all the, holiday events that we had at the church, for all of the parties and events that we had. And I enjoyed it because the crowd was just so, they were receiving it. They were receiving everything I was singing. And that was really special to me. So I always say, I always tell that to everybody, where did you start? I really started in church. And that's where, that's where my faith plays into, and my Christian faith plays into my music. So I do a little bit of that, and I do a little bit of, I guess you could say, ministering through music. Wow. That's what my passion is. That's what my mission is. I believe that my music can be more than just entertainment. It could be a way of ministry, to touch people, to touch their hearts. We live in such a dark world now with so many things happening, and people just need to be uplifted and, their spirits. And if I can give a little bit of and spread a little bit of God's light through my music, and each song at a time, I feel like I'm doing my part as, an American, and as a child of God.
That's amazing.
That is so beautiful to hear. I love that.
That is incredible. Yeah, using your voice, it's a gift, and you're using it to spread love and to provide healing, I feel like, to a lot of people, which is awesome. Awesome. Now, so 3,000 people, 8 years old. I mean, after that, I'm sure, you have the bug. I mean, describe what does the next couple years look like for Jackie? I mean, what is it that continues to keep you going? I mean, after 3,000 people, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, I think I could do this. But what kind of keeps you going after that? Do you have any big performances that kept you moving along the way?
You know what? Not so to say the performances. I would say more my faith. And every time before I get on stage, I pray. Every time I get booked for a show, I pray. God, do you want me to do this? Is this your plan? He has the perfect plan for me, for my life. I don't know what the future holds. I'm just kind of trusting in his plan because I've always trusted in his plan. And if I can get out there and, touch one heart out of 100, I feel like I did my job. But I feel like my mission is so much more powerful now that I'm touching so many more people and I'm performing so much more than I ever was. And I feel like that's what keeps me going is the people. It's not really me. It's more the people. Because I love people and I want to be able to share the gift that God gave me with them. And I get a very good response from my audience. And that's all I want. I don't want the praise. I don't want, I don't even need the title, America's Sweetheart. There's no need for that. I just want to be able to touch people because of, like I said, we're living in such a time where everybody is so divided. Everybody is hurt. Everybody has pain in their hearts from what's going on in the world today. And, we're all against each other. It was never like that. And I feel like if I could bring some type of unity, maybe other people will jump along and come along with me and do that. And I feel like it's so important. It really is so important to get America back to where it was and to make music better again.
You're so right, because music can be so cathartic and can be so therapeutic in so many different ways and healing. And to kind of, you can feel unity when somebody sings, and definitely when you sing as well. I think that's a beautiful message, and I think it's a beautiful through line to have throughout your career. And I think it's shown why you've been so successful as well, because you have a great mission behind you. And I wanted to talk about something that's very unique in what you do and that you've actually been praised for, is how you're able to kind of switch between genres with your singing, right? So you've been able to do Broadway to jazz to classic ballads, a variety of genres. And I just want to know, is there a specific genre that you feel most at home or most comfortable with singing?
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. I'm pretty much every genre.
Yeah.
I sing a lot of different songs. People are like, I don't understand how you go from Connie Francis to Whitney Houston and then, Frank Sinatra to like Celine Dion. It's just, it's very fun. Like people ask me all the time, like, what do you sing? And I'm like, I sing everything. Like, I don't understand. How do you sing everything? And I'm just, I have a very wide range. I could go from alto to high soprano. The only thing I would say I probably don't do, which I probably could do a little bit, and I could probably fool a couple people, but the one thing I probably don't do is opera. Too much opera. But, I do songs from the 50s all the way up till now, and I could do jazz, I could do pop, I could do, R&B, hip hop, I could do, classical crossover. I mean, it's just such a wide range. And I guess it depends. It all depends on who I'm singing to and what kind of show it is. A lot of the times, like I'll be singing next Sunday up in Saugerties for a very big East Coast car show. And so I kind of mix them all in, I'll do like one set with, my Connie Francis, my Frank Sinatra, all the old tunes that everybody loves, that everybody, relates to. And then I'll do some things for kids. I'll do some Disney classic, and it's really like what I feel. Like if I feel the song, I know it's going to be delivered. I know it's going to be delivered the right way. And I'll tell you right now, I won't sing any song that I don't feel. Of course, I'm going to mix some of my Christian music in there. And I just like to give a little bit of everything because I can do everything. And I've done it for years. And I'm proud to say that I can do a lot of different genres of music. So, if I'm hired to sing in front of children, I'm going to do songs that, relate, that the children can relate to.
Yeah.
And everything that I do is pretty clean. Everything is clean. I don't really like to sing about, anything that's not, because I'm trying to lift people up. this is a time where you really need to, you really need to do that. So, yeah, so I do everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could go on my website. You can go on YouTube and look at all my videos, and then you could see for yourself that I've done pretty much every genre of music.
No, you have, and it's quite a feat, and it's very impressive because not a lot of people can do what you're saying. And I know you're like, oh, well, I don't know if I can do opera. It's okay. You're covering every other genre, so you're doing really
You heard
good.
it a little bit. You heard it a little bit in Aldi Lab.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I'm sure you could do opera too if you really put your mind to it. So, no, I think it's quite incredible. And we've been talking about a lot of the covers that you've done, but you also have some of your own original music as well. You had your debut single, Just Believe, actually, that was actually inspired by something close to your heart. So I want to actually show a clip of you singing that, and then I want to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind it, all right?
Sure.
Okay.
Miracles can happen if you just believe. Walk by faith, not by sight. It's not always what it seems. Miracles can happen. Put your trust in Him. Take His hand, build your castles in the sand.
There we go. So beautiful. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So years ago, my mother was faced with a very hard battle. Out of kind of the blue, she just became very ill. She was in a coma for 48 days, and we weren't really sure what was going to, be the outcome of that. The doctors really weren't giving us much hope, but being the Christian family that we are and believing in prayer and our faith kept us going. And she pulled through and she woke up, and she is a walking miracle today.
Wow.
That song was really written for my mom, out of inspiration of my mom being healed and being a miracle. And somebody reached out to me from a radio station. He heard my voice, he heard the song, and he was like, that song is so touching. Like, we have two little girls who are terminally ill, and we're doing we're calling ourselves the prayer warriors, and we're praying for them. And every week, he would come on the show and he would play my song. And so those are who the two little girls are that you see on the cover. I decided to dedicate that song to them and put that song up on CD Baby and iTunes, and put the proceeds, the first 6 months of the proceeds, towards them, towards their medical bills, and just to help their families. And the girls loved it. They're actually miracles today. Both of them are miracles. When the doctors weren't giving them much hope, their families much hope. And so that's why you see the two little girls. But that song really came from the depths of my heart, from what I went through. And I was like, if I can help these families to just believe, just to give them a little bit of faith, just to give them some hope that, God is there. You're never alone. Sometimes you go through things, and what the eye sees is not really what is the outcome of what's going to happen. And look at that. I mean, one of them has a family now. She has children, and it's just a miracle. All of these stories are miracles. So it really boosts my song up to what it's saying in the song. You really feel every lyric in that song. If you're going through a troubled time, miracles happen every day in front of us. And I feel like, sometimes like we don't recognize them all of the miracles that God can really do. And it's just a powerful message. And if somebody is going through a hard time, just believe, just believe. And that's really the message. Just believe.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
have
love
that
that.
faith. Wow. Well, thank God your mom is okay, and those little girls as well. That is such a miracle.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that song and just your artistry, as we spoke about before, it is providing healing across the board. And so, yeah, thank you for sharing your voice. I mean, it's a true testament that God has the final say. So good, so good. So, I can imagine a lot of your inspiration comes from, as you mentioned before, it comes from faith. You pray before every show. I wanted to know also, when you go and when you're at a venue, I'm sure as you're praying, you're hearing from God. Do you organize your set list before, or is that something you kind of just follow the Spirit? How does that work?
Well, I usually have my stuff organized before a show. Sometimes there's changes that have to be made. Sometimes, I'll have something on the first song, as the opener, and the Spirit will just talk to me. He'll just talk to me, and he'll be like, "No, that's not right. Change that," And I'm a very prepared person before I go out there and perform. I want to have everything, all my ducks in line. I want to have everything, done. But the last thing I do before I get on stage is pray. And my prayer is really pretty much the same thing. Lord, just let me touch these people. Lord, just, let them see the light in me. Let me uplift their spirits. Let me have them leave this, performance with something, and take with them something that I gave them through my voice, and just coming from my heart, let me sing all of these songs from my heart so they feel it. And that's pretty much my prayer every time. Of course, we just want to, Lord, please let me look good. Please don't let me trip over any microphone wires. That's not really my prayer. My prayer is really to touch the people. And that's my mission. That is my new mission. I'm going hard at it now because, as everybody could relate, COVID really took a hit. And it was so hard for me not to be able to get out there. And I can't remember where I was, but I remember the feeling I got when I got back on stage, and I was like, yes, this is over. This is coming to an end. I just wanted to get back out there on stage because that's my happy place.
Yeah.
And that's where I do what I do, and that's where I could shine my light. So yeah, it's really just a staple before I get on any platform or any stage. Or even today, I prayed before our meeting today.
Amazing.
And that's what I do. I do everything through prayer. And God seems to lead me in the right direction and towards the right people. And now I've collaborated with a new musician who I'm blessed to call a great friend and colleague of mine. And we're on this mission together.
Oh, what a beautiful message for anyone out there, is just the power of prayer and just kind of making you feel more relaxed before you do anything in life. I love that message. I love that you're promoting that through your music and also, of course, today as well. Now, Jackie, we're going to take just a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we have way more questions because there is so much more you've done in your career, and I think it'd be beautiful for our audience to hear it. So please don't go anywhere, and same with you guys all watching. We'll be right back in just a second. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We are still here joined by the incredibly talented Jackie DiMaggio. Welcome back, Jackie. It has been so great just getting to know you a bit more, kind of behind the music sheet, behind your music, and just seeing what a bright light you are. And I just wanted to continue the conversation, just kind of highlighting some of the incredible work you've done throughout your career. And I mean, we have to talk about you performing for President Donald Trump, because that just absolutely blows my mind. I mean, you were able to perform for him at the National Golf Club in Bedminster. So I want to get your reaction to how that came to be, what it was like meeting him, performing for him. But first, I want to show the clip to our audience, and then we'll get into everything, all right? Okay, let's do it.
What a job. Thank you very much.
I mean, come on, how cool is that? Jackie, tell us all about that. How did that come to be?
So a friend of mine who works very close with Donald Trump and who also performs for him asked me a few days before to come and meet him at Bedminster. And, once I heard he was going to be there, I was just like, I was like starstruck. I didn't know what to do. I was like trying to prepare myself so quickly. Got my music together, got my outfit together. And I felt like I was in a dream. I was like, I'm singing for the president of the United States. Like, never did I think that I would get there. And just the power that I felt being on that stage with him, all eyes on me, and him being right front and center, his eyes on me, I was just like, I had to watch the video over and over because I couldn't believe, like, I was like, is this really happening? Like, is this just a dream? But no, Donald Trump, I know a lot of people have their opinions about him. I didn't know him at all until I actually was in front of him, standing in front of him, and just his presence and the way he was, he walked up to the stage after I performed and helped me off the platform of the steps.
Wow.
As you saw in the video. And just the genuine person he is, the wonderful person he is, what he's doing for our country. Like I said, a lot of people have their opinions, but I got to talk to those people in the crowd, and they were like, you don't know what he's done for me. You don't know what he's done for our family. There were a couple people there that with children who have special needs, and that touches me because I actually have a son who is a special needs, and I couldn't believe I was there. I can't say anything else and then I couldn't believe I was there. And I was just so blessed to have that opportunity to do that for him and to lift him up through a hard time that he's going through. A lot of people, throw daggers at him. A lot of people throw shots at him. Mm-hmm. But he's a really good person. And if you get to meet him, you know the feeling. Like, we were taking pictures, we were taking selfies together. I mean, he was like, let me see how I am on this angle. Oh no, this isn't a good light. Like,
stop, really?
Let me look at your phone to see the picture that we just took. I mean, it was like talking to a regular person. He wasn't like surrounded by, of course there were, his Secret Service was there and they were watching, all eyes on him. But he was just like a regular person. I was talking to a friend. And that's why I had to keep watching the video over and over. And I was like, did this really happen? Like, this is the president of the United States and we're taking selfies together. But just that opportunity to be able to perform in front of him was life-changing for me. That was definitely the biggest, most highlighted moment in my career. And people have noticed that, they've seen the video and they're like, wow, like, how did you feel? And I was like, you know what? I just put my performance stance on, my performance face on. I gave it all from my heart, and I delivered a great performance. And he gave me kudos for that. And he actually told me that, he wants to have me at Mar-a-Lago. And hopefully that happens in the near future.
Yeah.
I know the president is a very busy man, so I don't expect him to always have me on his mind to perform. But, one day I think that, we'll cross paths again, and I'll be able to do that for him again.
Hey, maybe even the White House, not just Mar-a-Lago, maybe even the White
Right.
House, because at the beginning of that video, you guys can check it out on YouTube. He's just grinning ear to ear, smiling. And I know you said that you kind of just delivered, you just did it, you performed. Is that what you do with a lot of your performances? Do you kind of just, forget the atmosphere of where you're at and just let loose? Where does your head go when you're singing all these songs?
Well, I've done everything from weddings to big events to memorials to funerals, and you have to just kind of close your eyes and get into that performance stance, and this is what your job is. Like, I'm always like, Jackie, this is what your job is. You have to do this. You have to deliver. And I've sang for my own family members after they've gone and passed at the church, and it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it's something that I feel I need to do. And especially my grandfather. That was probably the hardest person to sing for. After he had passed away. He lived a long, beautiful life, but it's never easy to say goodbye. And that was probably a very, very difficult moment. It was definitely a difficult moment. And I remember, getting through the song Ave Maria and then just breaking down afterwards, after the mic was turned off and I was, behind closed doors, I broke down. But it's just something that a performer learns how to do. And after so many years, you kind of, what to do, you know what to expect. And I just close my eyes. And like I said, I pray. So I pray, I close my eyes, and I'm like, and I got to do this. I got to get through it. And that's really what I do. It's God. It's God that gets me through it. It's really my faith in God that gets me through it.
Amen.
Every performance I do.
Amen. Amen. Do you still get butterflies before each performance?
You know what? I think it's the waiting. The waiting is the hardest. Like when I'm behind stage and I'm like, okay, I want to just get out there. And then once I get out there, it's like I don't have that nervous feeling. I just want to get out there. And once I get out there, I want to stay out there. I don't want to leave the stage. And that feeling, I can't really explain it. But the feeling that I get is just like I'm meant to be there. That's what I'm meant to do. That's what God's plan for my life is, to touch people through my music and to be there in front of them and just touch their hearts.
That's amazing. Now, also, you as a performer, as a musician, I'm sure you have worked with other people. Specifically, Peabody Bryson is one that has popped up. Can you speak to us about what it was like, and also any other collaborations that you might be looking forward to?
Peabo Bryson was...
Peabo Bryson, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yes, it's okay. Peabo Bryson was definitely another highlighted performance of mine that I will never forget. That Disney song from Beauty and the Beast. I mean, he won Grammys for that. I always dreamed of, Celine Dion is still to this day one of my biggest idols. I love her. When she sang that song with him, I was like, I remember watching the movie as a kid and being like, I want to sing that song. And then actually being on the stage with the guy who sang it was just like another starstruck moment for me. Like, I had to watch that video over and over again too. But Peabo, what a nice guy. What a down-to-earth man. Just a wonderful human being, wonderful performer, and an icon, really. And I've been on stage with many, I've been on different stages with many icons. He was definitely special, very special. And there's another man, Larry Chance. He's from the group Larry Chance and the Earls. Larry Chance gave me a lot of inspiration at a young age. He always told me the best advice, gave me some, key notes that, he used in all his performances throughout the years. And he always told me, and I'll never forget, he always told me, Jackie, never forget where you started. Never forget where you came from. You know, he started singing, I believe, on like the street corners in the Bronx. And to see him back in the Bronx every, you know, couple of months, performing at, you know, in a schoolyard and in a park, just for the people. You know, he's iconic. I mean, the world knows about who Larry Chance is. And he was like, I never forgot where I came from. And he was just as humble could be. And I'll never forget all of the things that he told me to, you know, boost my career and to help me through all those performances. And, you know, it was a blessing that I was able to know him. He passed away a couple of years ago, and I miss him. He was a true friend, really true friend. But yeah, there's been so many people that I've crossed paths with throughout my career, and I try to take a little bit from everybody. I try to take things as a learning experience. Sometimes, you know, things don't work out the way that you want them to work out with certain people, but you know, you wish them well and then you move on. But then there's those people that have always been there from the very beginning, and those are the people that I can never forget.
Yeah,
Wow.
Amazing. Learning a lot, taking it with you into your new music. And speaking of new things that you're doing and new collaborations, let's talk about your collaboration for this summer. You're partnering up with Chosen by Grace, and you guys actually have a performance this upcoming July 13th. So tell us about what's in store for you guys for that performance for this summer with that band.
So Chosen by Grace, my colleague and I, his name is James Norkowicz. He's a wonderful musician. Him and I collaborated, and it was actually a couple of months ago, and I feel like I've known him forever. We complement one another, and everything that I can do, you know, that he can't do, I fill in his shoes, he fills in mine. We're on this mission to minister through music together, and hence the name Chosen by Grace. We were chosen by the Lord to minister through music and to minister to the people, to bring a light to the world that is so dark now. And that is really our mission, just to spreading God's love and his light. And we don't care who you believe in. We don't care what you think about that, or if you're Christian, if you're Jewish. We don't care what color of your skin you are. We don't care. We just want to touch every human being that we can. And that is our mission. And so we collaborated, we started a group, and yes, we'll be in Saugerties this Sunday, July 13th. And it's a big car show. It's probably one of the biggest, it is the biggest East Coast car show. And there's going to be a lot of different performers there. But we're hoping that everybody comes to our stage and listens to us. But yeah, you know, we're just blessed to have that opportunity to be out there for. I think it's going to be like 3.5 hours. We're going to be doing this. So
wow.
Hopefully we could touch a lot of people in that amount of time.
I think you guys definitely will, Jackie. I mean, your message has been so inspiring, and so is your music. We just want to thank you so much for joining us today and just shedding your light with everything you're doing. So guys, if you're interested in learning more about how maybe you guys can attend the car show on Sunday, or to see more of Jackie's music, we have all her socials linked below. And Jackie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you guys.
Yeah, God bless you too. Good luck this weekend. Woo, guys, we promised you talent, and we're actually going to leave you with Jackie performing one of my favorite Connie Francis songs, Mama, and then we'll see you guys right after the break.